What's going on, everybody? It's Joel here, and today we're going to be taking a look at some of the active life essentials from 10,000. All right, so 10,000 just dropped their active life essentials line. It's a bunch of stuff that was meant to be just lived in, not necessarily trained in, but kind of, follows the ethos of 10,000. In that pack, there is the joggers, a couple different backpacks or two different size backpacks, and then boxers and socks. So the ones that I opted to pick up are the ones that piqued my interest the most were the 30-liter backpack and the joggers. So today we're first gonna talk about the joggers, then we're gonna get into the backpack because there's a little bit more with the backpack to talk about than there is the joggers. The joggers though, I will say, I'm gonna take the backpack off right now. I will say the joggers are actually probably my favorite pair of 10,000 joggers so far. Despite being like active life and something that you can live in, these still feel like normal 10,000 gear stuff. You can definitely trash these, and I think that they'll still hold up just fine. Now the main difference between something like this and like the foundations or the interval pants is that these have a softer waistband and they have cuffs on the bottoms of the pant legs. And I would say that if anything, the only things that would get destroyed or piled up would be those two areas. But everything else feels just as robust as everything else 10,000 makes. The fabric itself, to me, feels very much like the interval fabric, just maybe a little bit softer than the standard interval. This is a size medium that I'm wearing, and I think it fits well. It's not nearly as baggy as the foundation pant. I would like it to be a little bit more slim like the interval pant, but I think it fits okay. It's a little bit long on me. I'm 5'9", my legs are kind of short, and I think the inseam length on this is right about 30 inches. I'd have to check to be sure, but it's right around there. And the cuff hits with a little bit of a bunch, like right over my ankles. The paneling on these is what makes me think that 10,000 still intended these to be worked out in, because they do have this front stitching area with turned up stitching that is similar to the foundation pant. So if you're doing like any kind of barbell work, that bar is gonna glide up and it's not gonna catch on that seam. And then another difference here between the intervals and these pants is that this like yoke at the back is not the same kind of stretch breathable material that's on the intervals. These do have two side pockets, and then on the right side there's a zippered pocket where you can put, like, I would say cards, your keys, maybe a card wallet. It's not a huge pocket, but it stretches a good amount. And then there's a little bit of ventilation there, so I mean, if you were to get these wet, it would come out of there. And another improvement on the waistband of the active life joggers is that you can put the drawstring outside or inside, depending on how you want to wear these. If you want to wear it more streetwear, you could have them on the outside and tie them up. If you want to wear it more for training, you could just stuff them inside. I haven't really messed with mine at all. I just kind of leave them dangling. But the active life joggers, for me, still feel like you could work out in them. You could definitely live in them. I've been wearing these like crazy since I got them. Really like them. They're super comfortable, very, very mobile. And the best part about them is that they cost the same thing as the interval pants at $118. So you can go really either way, and it just kind of depends on your preferences and what you like. I still think that the interval pants are gonna be more of a robust jogger. I think they have a little bit more nylon and a little bit less spandex, so they are a little bit more taut, so they should hold up better over time. But to be honest with you, I think that these are gonna hold up just fine. They come in 3 different colors. This is obviously black, and then there's the iron color, and then there's also the light gray color, and they retail at, like I said, $118. Okay, so next up, we have the Active Life Essentials 30-liter backpack. And the main reason I opted for a 30-liter backpack over the 15 is that the 15, in my opinion, like backpacks that small, like I just have no business carrying around. I mean, they would probably make for an okay like work bag, laptop bag, if that's all you were using it for. But typically for me, I'm holding a lot of stuff, or I like to keep a lot of stuff with me. And something like a 30-liter bag just kind of fits my lifestyle a little bit better than something like a 15-liter bag. But if you just wanted a day pack, I think the 15-liter would do just fine. Aside from the size, I think they're generally the same backpack. The build quality and everything remains the same, and the materials and whatnot. So the Active Life Essential backpack. First off, this thing is not really that black. It actually kind of is more of a dark navy blue. If you get this under some good lighting, it definitely looks blue, so do keep that in mind. The shape of the backpack does have a form to it, has some structure to it. The external shell is a 1680D ballistic nylon fabric. It's got a good amount of texture to it. It feels very robust. And I've had backpacks with the same kind of shell before, and I think that it holds up really well. It does break in a little bit more over time, becomes a little bit more pliable, but right out of the box, it's pretty taut. We do have a few different compartments on this backpack. So you have 2 different ways to access the front compartment, and they are separate from each other, but they do interfere with the main compartment. So if you put stuff in this top compartment, which could be shoes, clothes, it's got a good amount of depth to it, it will definitely push into the front compartment. So let me see if I can fold that down to you so you can see. So it does go pretty deep, and then the same thing goes with the bottom part. It's the same kind of style. It actually is a little bit longer, but this one I think most people are going to be using for their shoes. And this one, like I said, like pretty much fits my whole forearm. It's pretty deep. Nice little 10,000 logo at the bottom of the bag. And then there's some ventilation here. So if you put stinky items in the front pockets, they can breathe and they don't get super stink. The zippers are YKK Zippers, and they have some kind of coating over the pull tabs, which is a nice little touch. The zippers are not actually coated or anything, so water can technically seep through, though I do believe the 1680D nylon has a level of water resistance to it. On the side, you have one side pocket for bottles, and let's see where my bottle is. So it says it fits a 32-ounce bottle, which is the 10,000 bottle. I've got my Stanley Adventure Quencher 40-ounce bottle here, and we're gonna see if this fits. It expands a pretty good amount, and it gets the bottom part in just fine, and then it stops. Yeah, it should fit a 40-ounce or 32-ounce bottle just fine. Obviously, the handle impedes the progress of the actual bottle itself, but I wouldn't worry about fitting like a normal shaker cup or a hydro flask or Yeti into this bag. And then on the other side, there's nothing. I wish that they did put something on the side, because it just, I mean, it's kind of bare. It does give it a more minimalist kind of look if that's something that you really liked, but I do think that they could have probably put a pocket on that side and it wouldn't hurt too bad. And then on top of the bag, we have a carrying handle. The back of the bag, we've got contoured shoulder straps. We've got a sternum strap that locks on with magnets. And that is also adjustable down the shoulder straps. And then the back panel is not ventilated, but it is nice and cushioned. It's got the 10,000 logo right there on it. And then this little handle right here is the handle that you're gonna use to slip it on to some luggage, which is a different style than normal, because typically you're gonna find that in a more vertical orientation so that you can put your backpack like standing on top of your luggage. But for this, you're gonna have to put it sideways. which honestly, it's probably not that big a deal. Okay, so let's take a look at the laptop compartment, which has the benefit of obviously being padded because the back part of the backpack is padded. And then this has a divider so that if you wanted to put like your laptop in here on one side and then you can have a tablet here on the other side, it would do just fine. And there's plenty of depth and width on this backpack. So you should be able to fit a 15-inch MacBook, and it opens up all the way or halfway down the side of the bag. So you're gonna be able to stuff a good amount of stuff in there. Okay, now let's take a look at the main compartment, which this bag does not zip the whole way down. So that could be an issue if you needed to get something deep in the bag out. You still have to fish through this bag quite a bit, but it opens up a pretty good amount, probably about a little bit more than halfway down the bag. And then in the inside flap, since the bag has a lot of structure, it does make accessing some of this stuff a little bit more difficult. We have a Trico lined pocket on the front panel. It's got a little carabiner at the top there so you can hook your keys into. And then on the back part of the bag, we have some flat storage compartments, cell phone pocket. Let's see if it fits my iPhone. iPhone 14 Pro fits just fine in there. I've got a pocket knife that's gonna fit just fine. You could probably fit like a external battery in one of these as well, or some cables, whatever you want. They are flat storage, but they do have a little bit of elasticity to the actual pocket itself. And now let's start just like loading this bag up. We have an Element 26 belt that's rolled up. So we'll toss that in there. We've got a couple pairs of shorts. Here's one pair of shorts, two pairs. Let's fold these up so it could take up a little bit less space. Honestly, I could probably put these in the front pocket. And then here's three pairs of shorts. And then we got a few shirts. There's one shirt, two shirts, and then here's this third shirt. Still plenty of space. I want to say we're about halfway full in the volume of the bag. So what I'm starting to notice is that you're now running out of small storage compartments or small organizational pockets. So if you had things like tape, you know, they're just going in with everything else. And then now, moment of truth, we're gonna put in those shoes. You know, let's try them in both compartments. The new UA lifters. So this is the extreme, right? So lifters obviously gonna take way more space than a typical pair of shoes. Okay, size 10s are pretty much the max that you're gonna get in the top pocket, but it fits. And this is what it looks like. It doesn't actually make the bag like bulge out or look crazy. This looks nice and clean, minimalist. Maybe a little bit of a bulge right at the very front there. Let's try out the bottom pocket. And these fit with probably about three more inches to spare right there at the bottom. Stuff much bigger shoes in here on the bottom pocket. I would probably stick to clothes on the top pocket and then shoes on the bottom pocket if you wanted to carry shoes and clothes along with you. So this bag, it's a nice quality backpack. Obviously there could be a little bit more organizational pockets for my liking, but I think that overall for the price, $168, this is a really well-made, pretty well thought out backpack. The design is nice, and here I'll put it on for you so that you can check it out and see what it looks like on me again. This is from the factory. I haven't adjusted the straps at all. And there we go. This is what it looks like. Doesn't feel big or overbearing on my back. It's nice and tight fitting as it is right now. I could probably loosen it up a little teeny tiny bit and it would be a little bit more comfortable, but then it would make moving around a little bit harder. But I think the size is right. 30 liters is perfect for a day bag. It's not too big, and I think, you know, even if you were, you know, a female, that this would be a good size for you as well. 15 to me like I said, that's just gonna be a little bit too small. So this one retails for $168. The joggers retail for $118. And so far so good with the active life stuff. If you guys want me to check out the boxers or the socks, then I'll do that as well, but I don't really have that much of an interest to check them out or spend my money on them because they're not cheap. But otherwise, backpack I can definitely recommend. The joggers, highly recommend. These are a great pair of joggers, and if you're a fan of 10,000's joggers and the way that they make their gear so that you can really just beat it up, then I definitely recommend you look into the joggers for sure. So I'll leave a link in the description so that you can pick these up. If you're a new customer for 10,000, you can use code AMRAP, A-M-R-A-P, to save 15% off your order with 10,000. And if you guys have any questions about the backpack, the joggers, anything else from 10,000, I have it all. Any questions, leave it in the comments. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next video.